When Danny first came to me, he struggled with motivation, routine building, and a challenging relationship with food and exercise. As a mental health therapist helping others every day, he found himself mentally exhausted and unhappy, knowing something needed to change, but unsure of how to make it happen. Despite years of intermittent attempts at fitness, he hadn't been able to maintain consistency for over 3 years. Now, after working together, he's completely transformed his body composition, developed an intuitive understanding of nutrition, and finds walks so essential they feel weird to skip. He has gained the confidence to navigate both cutting and bulking phases all on his own. Hey, I'm Sampi Harmetz, and I'm a fitness and nutrition coach for geeks and gamers. I help them lose 10 to 20 pounds in 6 months without giving up their hobbies or the foods that they love. What makes my approach different is that I have a system that works with your lifestyle, not against it. As a cosplayer, gamer, and former competitive bodybuilder, I understand how to level up your fitness while still having time for campaigns, late night raids, and convention weekends. My three-phase approach allows you to optimize your nutrition, lose fat, and equip you with the skills to maintain your progress long term. Today's conversation with Danny offers valuable insights for anyone who's been stuck in the cycle of starting and stopping their fitness routine. As a mental health professional himself, Danny shares a unique perspective on how shifting from motivation based action to habit building transformed not just his physical health, but his relationship with himself. He'll talk about how our work together helped him balance self compassion with discipline, demystifying nutrition, and finding joy in movement rather than seeing it as a chore. If you have ever struggled with body image issues or maintaining consistency with your fitness routine, this interview will show you how sustainable change is possible with the right support. So, what is your name and where are you from?
So my name is Dani Valbuena. I am originally from Bogota, Colombia, but I was raised in Florida, South Florida, and I currently live in Chicago.
And what do you do for a living, if you don't mind me asking?
I am a mental health therapist. I work at a community mental health agency.
Thank you. And what were you struggling with before we worked together?
So I was primarily struggling with, I think, like motivation and like routine building and habits. And yeah, I think I was actually thinking about this yesterday, because I was just thinking about where I was at that point in time. I was just so like a mentally ill, and I think I just had so much going on that like I don't know, I was just really unhappy. And I think like I knew that I needed to do something and I needed help.
Hmm.
Like trying to get to a point where I could make a change. I think that's what I needed. I needed to something needed to change, and I needed help doing it.
Thank you. And did you have any specific goals that you were looking to accomplish when you were with me?
Yeah, I think I wanted to primarily like I wanted to shift like I don't know, maybe like my relationship with
Hmm.
like food and exercise. I have for I think a majority of my life like really struggled with like body image issues. And I think that was something that was like holding me back,
Right.
and I wanted to, like shift that relationship. Um and so like I think that involved me like wanting to change my body
Hmm.
like in a way that felt healthy. Like I wasn't doing it out of like self-hatred or anything. Like I
Hmm.
was doing it because like I had like specific goals of maybe like this is what I want to look like. This is what I want to go towards. But ultimately it was more like how can I change my perception
Hmm.
of food and exercise, and how can I like build healthier routines around that. So I think that was like what I was
So,
mainly focused.
yeah, so a lot of it was your relationship with all of these things. So, What made you reach out to me specifically? Why not another coach?
Sorry, it was just an ambulance going by. I don't know
You're
if
all
you heard
good.
it. Um, well, you particularly, because we go way back.
Yeah.
Um, and already having like that connection with you, and I think like seeing like, your social media presence around like fitness, um, I think made me feel encouraged
Mhm.
and safe. I feel like your approach to like fitness and nutrition like has always like to me
Mhm.
seemed like very encouraging, very positive, and so I felt like that immediately helped like that sense of safety. And I
Mhm.
felt like also like I don't know, sometimes working with like a personal trainer or like going into exercise kind of routines can
Mhm.
feel intimidating.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to work with someone that
Mhm.
didn't make me feel intimidated.
Exactly. Thank you. And were there any things that almost prevented you from signing up? Things like fear, finances, lack of time?
Um, I think, I mean, the primary one I think would have been finances, but I think I looked at it in a way where like this is an investment
Mhm.
in myself, and like I figured out a way to make it work. I think it was like mainly that, and I think there was, I mean, maybe fear, but I think I was at a point where I was like, I'm ready to do this, so I'm going to make it work.
What has, what were like your biggest takeaways from coaching?
Yeah. I think primarily like well, there were many, honestly. Um, I think first, I think a lot of the work that we did together has actually helped my work with like my clients, like in my own job as a therapist. I think like the perspective of like building habits and routines and like I don't know, maybe sometimes like the stories that we tell ourselves to engage in like these things that are good for us. And I think something that I feel like has always stood out to me, I think that like I think about like from our past conversations about like motivation and like motivation maybe not being the most reliable like um motivator
Right, yeah.
uh,
I get
to
you.
engage in change. And I feel like that has helped to shift my perspective.
Mhm.
And I think I find it easier to develop routines and
Mhm.
habits. Um, I think like that, and also like I feel like since then, like my relationship to food has like changed entirely, and I feel like I see it now with more of like a purpose. Like food
Mhm.
has a purpose.
Mhm.
Like I enjoy it, and this is to like nourish my body. And I think it has like helped to maybe like demystify it for myself. I think all of that has been really helpful.
Thank you. And what have been the biggest shifts you've made in your life since?
Um, I think, yeah, I think with like food, my relationship to food has been like one of the biggest ones. I think maybe being more patient
Mhm.
and compassionate with myself. I think like it's always like difficult, like
Mhm.
treading the balance of like self-compassion and like discipline.
Right.
And I feel like I I think it's something that I still like try to work on to like be more disciplined and I would say patience and compassion with myself just to like I don't know, try to take things one day at a time and be more present. Actually, yes, that has been a big one. Like being more present. Like one of the things that has stood out to me and that I feel like I have been, aside from like my relationship with food, like for example, going on walks
Mhm.
has like been life changing. I think like right now the weather is so cold that it's like kind of impossible and it actually makes me sad. Um, but I think like I have like increased like my step count like from previous years and like when the weather is nice and when the weather is good, like over the summer, like I would go on like 2, 3 hour walks like every day. And it was just something that was like, I was like, it feels weird if I'm not going on a walk.
Mhm.
And it was just like, so like making sure that whether I have like a workout routine or not, I feel like I'm still getting movement. And I feel like that has been something that I've tried to like be very intentional about. It's like no matter what, is that there's always movement.
Awesome. Thank you. And so, where was your fitness from like kind of the start to the end of the program to now?
Yeah. So I think at the start, I had been like, I think it had been, so we started working together in 2023, 2023. Yes. Um, and I think before that, it had probably been about like 3 years since I had like worked out regularly. And I had like intermittent periods before that where I was like, okay, I would work out, but I just couldn't keep it up.
Mhm.
And I think like having you to like help hold me accountable, to support me, I think was really helpful. Because then I didn't feel alone. And I felt like, okay, no matter what is going on in this process, like if there are weeks where I feel less capable or whatever, like I felt like no matter what, like you were in my corner. And I feel like that kind of helped a lot. Um, and I think afterwards, um, I felt more empowered to like again have a better understanding of like nutrition and like exercise and like how all of that works and how those pieces kind of fit together and have like even also more like an intuitive
Yeah.
relationship with just kind of like knowing like okay well this is what my diet needs to look like generally for me
Mhm.
to my macros or how to like get what I need without all the time being so like nickel and
Right.
dime, I guess. Um, and I think so. I've mainly tried to like maintain a lot of movement since like we've stopped working together. I've tried to like continue to focus on like the nutrition aspect. I had COVID back in June, and that was pretty rough. So that kind of like was where I fell off
Yeah.
like exercise. I was still like going on walks and everything, but I was very much trying to limit my
Yeah.
exertion. Just because there's like evidence where that
Hmm.
you engage in any sort of like exertion like after you can
Hmm.
on COVID. And so I was just kind of like really worried about that. And so I didn't work out for about like 3 months. And so then that kind of like pushed me off my
Hmm.
routine. And it's these past couple months has been a little bit more of a struggle to kind of get back into it. But again, I've been trying to be patient with myself and have a combination of like patience and trying to have some discipline to kind of get back into it. Um, Yesterday I did my first leg day of the year.
Yay.
Um, Feeling my
Congrats.
first. Um, but yeah, so right now, like I feel like where I would like to keep going is kind of continue to be consistent and kind of like develop the routine again. Um, yeah.
And I was going to ask what tangible results have you achieved? I'm not sure if that kind of like already answers that.
So I think I've definitely have seen a change in my body composition.
Definitely. You had a pretty dramatic transformation.
I did. And even now where I've been in my semi-intentional, unintentional bulking phase, even then, like I noticed that my body looks different.
Mhm.
Like the way that I've gained weight
Mhm.
is very different because I have built muscle and like I was intentionally exercising. Um, and I think it was I did like a cut between
Mhm.
March to like around June. And honestly, I was pretty digging the results at that point because I was like, whoa. Okay. So I feel like I've also been able to maybe have a more as clear as it can be, being from I can only see myself in pictures in a mirror. I feel like I have a better appreciation for my body, and can see the changes that like having
Mhm.
like consistent training like helped to get there. So
Yeah, you had a crazy dramatic transformation. And then even after that, I'm so happy to hear that you feel comfortable now, like going through a bulk on your own or going through a cut on your own and like being able to see those results. On a scale of 1 through 10, how satisfied were you with the program?
about 10 for
Oh,
sure.
thank you. If someone was considering working with me, what would you tell them?
Uh, I would tell them to do it 100%. I think like I would say like if they have the means to and like the desire to do it, to like like if there are any fears or anything like those fears are valid and normal, and that trying something different can be scary, and that's okay, and that they're in great hands. I would say like you are so good at what you do and like you're so supportive, and I think like you know what you're talking about. It's like a combination of you know what you're talking about and you're a really wonderful person, so it just kind of like makes it like yeah, like they're in good hands, so they should do it.
Thank you so much. And is there anything else you want to add?
um
Any closing words of wisdom is sometimes the thing I'll ask people. Any like nuggets of wisdom that you would have for people trying to go through this journey?
yeah. um just for anybody watching this, considering doing this, just like change is hard for sure. And like something that has helped me a lot is that like we can't hate ourselves into loving ourselves. And that like if you're going into this process of change, to just try to be as kind and supportive to yourself as you can, because like life is hard enough, and if we're doing good things for ourselves, like that already says a lot. So to like at least try to see it from that perspective of like that we deserve good things and we deserve to be happy, and that like having a better relationship with our bodies in a way that's like healthy can like help us to be present and like better connected to ourselves and the world. Um, So yeah, it's I don't know. Any like change is scary and it's worth it.
I love that. Thank you. If you're a self-proclaimed nerd who wants to feel more confident and energized without giving up your gaming time or your favorite foods, I want to help. Join my Discord community at the link down below. There you'll find other like-minded nerds who are looking to work on their fitness journeys. We have free resources, community challenges, book club, movie nights, as well as craft nights. You don't have to feel alone on this fitness journey. And if you're looking for more one-on-one support, book a call with me down below so we can discuss how I can help you get to your health goals. Remember, you don't have to choose between being a nerd and being fit. You can absolutely be both. Let's level up your health while you stay true to who you are. I'll see you in the next one.